Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'm Amy and I post new videos every week. I post a lot of foundation wear tests, full face first impressions, things like that. If that sounds like your kind of content, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss it on mine. In today's video, we are doing my fall project pan update, switching out some things, rolling in, rolling out, showing you my progress. So I've got a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Really quick before I start, yes, my background is different. I don't know if it's gonna stay like that. I'm not sure how the coloring is gonna be. We'll see when I'm editing this. But also, I already have a few pre-filmed videos that you're gonna see after this, so you're not gonna see this background for a couple of videos also. So keep that in mind if you stick around. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me pull out my little notebook here. And we're going to talk about first everything that was in my summer project. So I do a quarterly project pan. And this is inspired by Tara Brooke. I will leave her down below. But she does updates throughout the quarter. I do not because I'm not that good yet. I'm not good enough to do that yet. So we're going to talk about the things that I had in my summer, what's going out, where my progress is and stuff like that. And then we will talk about what I'm going to bring in for the fall. So it's kind of like an ongoing rolling project pan with quarterly updates. I'm just going to go based off the way my list is written here. That doesn't necessarily mean it's in the right order, but I think it'll just help me make sure I talk about everything. So first I had my Becca Hydra powder. I have this little mini that I've been working on and I thought I would get further because I was in the summer. I got a little bit of progress and I'm going to keep this in here and I'm going to keep trying to use it. We're going to talk about another powder in a second. That is what I've been using the most. So I haven't been paying as much attention to this as I need to. But I'm keeping it in here because I really do want to finish. It's a little mini. I can totally do that. So I'm going to keep that in. One of the most exciting things, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder. This is the mini. And my goal last time was to hit pan. And I'm actually going to insert a picture and the date of like when I very first hit pan. And it looks like a lot because like, you know when it gets really thin, like a chunk of it like falls. That's kind of what happened, but I did use the chunk. Don't worry, I did not discard the chunk of powder. But this was the date and the moment that I hit pan, and here is where we are now. Oh my gosh, look at how much I've used, so much. So my goal for this is definitely now to use this up because I want a full-size baby. Let's go, and I need to use up this mini for me to do that. And hopefully I use it up fast enough so that I can order the full size during a holiday sale. So that's my goal for this one, is to use it up quickly. My Maybelline Age Rewind, this one is finally done for. I've like screwed it up as much as I possibly could, and I have used what I could get off of the sponge. And what I ended up doing in the end, instead of like touching this to my face, is I would just go from my sponge onto here, which is totally what I will do in the future when I use and purchase this style of product. Because I mean, it gets enough product on it that way, and then you're not cross-contaminating as badly, you know? If you notice my eye watering, like, please just ignore it. It is like such a watery eye. But I finished this entire concealer and I'm feeling really happy about that. We will get into concealers a little bit later when we talk about what I'm bringing in for fall, because if you like concealer, that's going to be exciting. But I'm so happy to have finished this and get something out of my collection that's not just being decluttered, that it's actually been used up. It feels really nice. So I'm really happy about that. Okay, my Smashbox Primerizer. I wanted to use this up, and you can still see like a little bit that won't come out through the pump, but I could not get the pump off. So I'm considering this an empty. Finally used up this, and I do love this primer, and I actually have another mini of this, and then I also have the vitamin C one. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like in an orange package, but it's a very similar product, just a little bit more glowy. So yeah, this one is used up. I'm considering it an empty. We did it, guys. We used up another product. Look at how exciting exciting this round is, okay? So next I've got the Wet n Wild setting spray. I did not make very much progress on this. The reason why is because I had this in my project pan, the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Face Mist Sunscreen SPF 55, and this is very glowy. So whenever I would use this, I'd be like, I don't need to use this. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, I used it a little bit for like eyeshadows, but I didn't ever really use it on my face. So this one will stay. I think I can finish it this year. Yeah, I think I can finish it this year, and I want to finish this. If I don't finish it this year, I might just get rid of it because that's a long time to be keeping it around. But yeah, I think I can finish that. So I'm gonna keep that in. Let's go ahead and talk about this. For this one, I only had to use this 20 times, and I did use it 20 times. I really do like this. It doesn't irritate my eyes. It looks really beautiful on the skin. It's really nice and glowy. It's very lightweight. The mist is really fine. If you love setting sprays and you love when they have multiple functions, like you like ones with skincare in them and whatever, you might really like this because it has the SPF in it. And if you have a hard time, you want to reapply your sunscreen like you're supposed to, but you have a hard time doing it after you have your makeup on, this is a really great product. I really liked it, and I even liked it for like my hands and arms because it's such a lightweight, non-greasy feeling that I would pack this. I packed this with me when we would go places where I was going to be outside a lot, and then that way I could just like re-up on the parts of my skin that were exposed. So I really liked this. I'm probably like about a third or a quarter of the way through it, which is way more than 20 uses for sure. I'm going to definitely keep this in my collection, but I'm going to keep it, I think, just in my bathroom and take it out of the project pan because now I know its use and I know how it looks, and I know when I'm looking for something specific to reach for this, you know what I mean? So that's a part of the reason that I have items in my project pan for usage, is so that I learn the product a little bit more and it gets a solid place in my brain as far as my collection, so that when I'm doing my makeup or I'm doing something and I'm like, oh, I wish I had this thing, that I could be like, oh, that one blush fits for here, whatever. So yeah, used this. It's going out of my project, but definitely staying in my collection. Next, I want to talk about the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for Superstar Youth Glow. This is the shade 2 Fair. My 20 uses for this was meant to be like the same thing that I talked about with this, like where I learn how I feel about it compared to the other similar items in my collection and when it would be appropriate to use this over those other things. And it's just every single time that I use this, I'm just like, I would rather reach. I can't tell you the specific differences. I don't notice anything like longevity wise. It's just that this one is a little bit more metallic than the Auric Glow Lust, which is a little bit more like a skincare plumping juicy effect, and that's way more what I go for than like a highlight. Like this to me feels more like a highlight, whereas Glow Lust is like almost skincare in my mind, and I'd much rather have that skincare look, if that makes sense. I don't think I'll get rid of this because it is just a mini. It's not going to take up a lot in my collection, but I'm going to take it out of the project because I don't want to keep things in my project that are not like, I want it to be a fun project. You know what I mean? I want it to be fun, and I want to reach for these things. I don't want to like torture myself by making myself. I think I'm going to keep this in my collection simply for the fact, in the future I might do a full face of high-end makeup and want to pick out something like this, even though I'd probably pick the Auric. I'm not ready to get rid of this, is basically where I'm at. I'm not ready to get rid of it. All I know is that don't impress me much, but I'm keeping it in my collection. Okay, this one, I really enjoyed using this. Auric Smoke Reflect in the shade Ego. This is so lovely for making a grungy, smoky, delicious eyeshadow look. And I just think that it's not something I have really in my collection. You know what I mean? So I think it does do something special, and it definitely, if I wanted that look, I would definitely go for this. But I almost never dip into the topper shade, which is beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. But I did use this alone all over the lids, and it's definitely, it doesn't give you the grungy look. It just gives you that, you know, sparkly, everyday. Well, it's a little more than everyday. But anyways, my project on this one, my usage goal, definitely I hit it and it did its job. I have a place in my library, in my head, where this exists for when I am looking for something smoky or extra sparkly that isn't gold pink. This is definitely what I would reach for. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of the project, but again, keeping that in my collection for sure. Okay, now I did also put 3 liquid blushes into my project this time, and I needed to use each one 5 times. Now I will tell you, I used Bliss probably like a good 15 times. This is a very good shade for me. It is the most everyday looking shade, but sometimes it can be a little bit like too everyday. Like, it's not enough. You know what I mean? So I actually found myself digging into, I think this one's Grace, and I would put this on the back of my hand, Bliss, and then I would take a little bit of Grace and mix it in just to give Bliss a little bit more color for my cheeks. Grace, I found, is a little bit too strong for me on its own. So the 5 times that I used this, I definitely was using it mixed together. I do really like this formula. It's a very comfortable formula, and it dries down, but still looks really nice in skin-like and thin on the skin. Doesn't look dry or anything like that. But I do wish I had one of the dewy ones, but I don't need more blush right now. I don't need more blush right now. I don't need more blush right now. But I am gonna keep these in my collection, but take them out of the project since I now have an idea of when to use them. The other one that I pulled out was Eloise. This is Hot Pink. I purchased this because I knew that it was a color I didn't really wear, and I wanted it to have like a specific place in my collection. So here is it pretty much full pigment, and then I will do like a little thing on the side. So it does sheer out to this really nice pink, but that pink on my pale skin is so strong. And I thought the summer would be the time that I would use it, you know, like a colorful, you know, watermelon look, and I just didn't. I did not pull this out one time, even though it was in my project, right in front of my face, waiting for me to use it. I did not use it a single time, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. I'm so sorry. The formula is beautiful. It's just the color. I'm never going to reach for it. Even when I try to make myself reach for it, I didn't reach for it. So we are going to declutter her. So I did also put 2 samples into my project last time around. One was the Shiseido Ultimate Sun Protector Lotion Broad Spectrum SPF 50. It's like the blue bottle. It's obviously not here anymore, but I kept this just so I would remember to talk about it. I absolutely hated it. This irritated my eyes so bad. If you follow me on Instagram, I actually posted a photo, or like a series of photos of me basically bawling my eyes out. Not because I was crying, but because the waterworks were just going. I did this super cool look with the Auric Smoke Reflect in Ego, and I loved the look so much. but this stupid SPF ruined it for me. My eyes were just like pouring water. It was horrible. If you have sensitive eyes, I do not recommend. On the other hand, though, we have the Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer. I used the shade 160C, and it was a really good shade for me. And I used it more, not like a concealer, but more like an everyday, like all over the face kind of situation, like concealer and then some kind of moment. And I really liked it. I thought it looked really nice all over the skin, and it really tempted me to buy concealer, but I was strong and I haven't done it yet, but just know it's in the back of my mind that I want it. So I can get rid of these 2 sample cards. I don't know about you, but I'm really bad about sample cards. Like, I have so many sample cards and I never use them because I'm like, if I only have 1 or 2 uses of something, I need to be prepared to pay attention to how it is so that I know if I like it or not. So I put like a lot of pressure on samples. I don't know why. But yeah, so that is it for what I did over the summer. So let's talk about some things I want to bring in this fall. One thing, if you've watched my past videos, you will recognize this. This is the Glossier, what do they call this? Ultra Lip in the shade Portrait. It is a very bright color, kind of similar to that blush. It's just a little bit more on the rosy side. This is a little bit more pink. I wiped it off, so I don't know if you can really see it. So this is Portrait, and it's quite a bright color. And if you watched my Glossier video, I was like, I don't know if I like this. I love the formula of it, but I didn't know if I liked the color. And I think that was maybe because I had like a light coverage on and you could see the redness in my cheeks, which made me not want to put red on my lips, which would bring it out. So I want to put this in, and I only want to do, I don't want to do too much because in the fall I do want to go more in the nudie, mauvey, grungy, brown situation. Like, I don't want to be going this route. So I don't want to put too many uses on it, but I do want to use it. I want to put it in the forefront, like I have to use this so that I can figure out if I do like this color, if it's something I want to keep around or not, you know? So I am going to put 5 uses on this. I know that's very low, but I feel like after 5 uses with different foundations and eye looks and things, that should give me a good idea of how I feel about this overall. I have this mini of the Nars Climax Extreme. I don't remember when I used it. I purchased it and I used it in a video, and I have not really used it at all since. I want to use this enough to where I decide if I even like this concealer, this mascara, how I can compare it to my other mascaras. And I have 2 open mascaras right now, but they are like getting to their last leg. So what I want to do is kind of put myself in a corner to use this or lose this. That's what I'm going to call this. I'm not going to give it a usage goal. I don't have to use it up, but I need to use it, like force myself into using it so much that I have to declutter it, is how I'm going. So either I will use it up or I will declutter it. So it's a use it or lose it situation is what I'm going to call it. Let me know if there is another term for that in the Project Pan world, but use it or lose it is what I am going to use. These 2 items are kind of like boring, okay? This is the C'est Moi Gentle Moisture Lotion, made for young, delicate skin. I got this in an influencer campaign. They were doing where if you bought it from the grocery store, Kroger, that you got it for free, and then you would just have to do a review. But then they canceled the campaign. I don't know if it's because Kroger's not, like, they changed their mind. Kroger's not going to sell it. I have seen it at Target, so they might have moved it. But I ended up getting this for free, and I have used, like, it's down to here. I've used quite a bit of this because I was planning on having to review it, so I wanted to really get a feel for it. And I've used this on my face, on my chest, neck, hands. So I think really my goal for this is just to use this up. Because it just get it out of my collection. I don't need this. I don't need it. I have plenty of moisturizers and ones that I love. I don't need this one. It's nice. It works fine. That's how I feel about it. There was nothing lovely, perfect, beautiful, wonderful about it. And I mean, for 1.7 fluid ounces, if I remember correctly, this was like $10 or $15, which is like, this is like a mini size. Why am I paying that much money for it? So I just want to use it up, get out of my collection. So I am putting that in there to use up. And another moisturizer I want to put in there to use up is my CeraVe moisturizing cream. Ever since I picked up the lotion and the pump bottle, I've just been using that one because, man, a pump bottle is so much easier than digging your hands into here. But as we get into fall and it's a little bit cooler, I know that I'm going to be a little bit drier. And this one I've had for a while and it's all the way down to here. So I want to go ahead, put this in a project pan so I can use this up, and then I can go back to the lotion if I want to, or I actually already have a backup of this as well if I want to just stay in here, since this one is a little bit thicker and creamier, which is better for the colder months if you have dry skin. So I'm just putting it in here to kind of force myself to use this up, because I'm definitely a person that has like multiple lotions, like way too many lotions, lots of moisturizers everywhere, and I'm trying to like clean my like bathroom, like the skincare. I'm like looking at it right now. There's a lot in there, okay? So I'm trying to go ahead and use up some of the things that are just like, I can use these up. I can use these up. I can do it. So use up those. And then here is an exciting little twist to what I want to bring in. And I have been hinting at concealers throughout this video. Don't know if you picked up on that, but all right, so the thing about the concealers is I have a lot of concealers. Let me see. I feel like I've mentioned this on my channel. Sorry if I moved out of frame. I feel like I've talked about this on my channel before, but I'm not sure. I have a lot of concealers, and I have a lot that I don't have an opinion on. Like, I've used them once or twice and like did or didn't like the experience, but I couldn't like verbalize or explain to you what I thought or felt about them. I have 6 different types of concealer that are still in my drawer right now that I have multiples of because I know how I feel about them. But then I also have all of these, okay, that I don't feel like I have a fully formed opinion on. So what I want to do for probably the rest of the year is put all of these concealers into my project pan, and my goal will be to use each one 5 times. There are 20 here, so that's 100. Is there 100? There's definitely 100 days left. So that's 100 days of concealer, and I just want to see what I like, what I don't like, and maybe at the end I'll do like a whole concealer video and kind of categorize these and do like I do my foundation roundups, but do it a little bit shorter because 20 concealers, that's a lot to put in one video. And maybe I'll add in the 6 that I already know that I like as well. Actually, I do have one more that I like, but it's in my bathroom. I just remembered. Oh my god, I have 2 more that I like. Oh my god, I have a lot of concealer. I have almost 30 concealers, guys. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. So my goal is to do 5, use each one 5 times. And while I do that, I'm going to make extensive notes and maybe take pictures and start all that so that we can hopefully at the end of the year do a really big concealer roundup, and then I can do a big concealer declutter. Because I mean, obviously these cannot stay good long enough for me to use all of them. So I need to just get a handle on this, clear that up. So yeah, that is the big exciting news for my project. This video ended up being a lot longer than I expected. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like project pans and you like or dislike something that I'm doing, let me know down below. I personally don't watch too many project pans because I don't have the same mindset as a lot of people who do project pans. I am not a minimalist. I do not want to have a small collection where there's only 1 spot or 2 spots for a hydrating foundation or a mattifying foundation. I am a maximalist. I want to have as many varieties of every single product as I possibly can. I want to have an idea of what I think about things. So that's more so where I come from with a project pan, is like, I don't want to use up all of these things and clean out my collection. That's not my purpose here. My purpose is like, I want to really know my collection, understand my collection, be able to give people really good recommendations when they ask me for something specific. I want to be able to just, and not have to research it every single time or wear test something specifically for a question. You know, I want to have that knowledge already. So that's really my purpose of a project pan, is forcing myself to get to know my products. And yeah, heck, sometimes I'll use them up, and sometimes it's really satisfying to hit pan. But see, as you see, my purpose for hitting pan here is not to empty this and get it out of my collection, but to be able to rationalize purchasing a full size. Does that make sense? So I hope that you like this kind of project pan. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out so much. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!